Yeah, good day. So let me explain how the software works. It's just a local result computation system that works without the internet. All you need on that system is just Microsoft Office package installed on that system. So far you have Microsoft Excel working on that system, then you are good to go. So let me just start with we have the nursery section, primary section, and secondary section. So let me start with the nursery section. So you just open the file. When you open the file, you have two sheets there, the results data sheet and the result sheet. So in the result data sheet, that's where you enter the scores and the names of the students. You have the column for admission number, name, last name, first name, last name, gender, and class. And for this nursery section, you have column for exam only. That's different between nursery and primary. So you have column for only exam, that is they don't have first CA, second CA. Though any school that want, I can edit it to suit the need of that school. Maybe if you don't want me to add the first CA and second CA, I can add that. So for this particular school, they have only exam. They don't have, for the nursery class, they don't have first CA and second CA. So all you need to do is just to enter the student name. That is the first name, last name, gender, and you enter the scores across. Like for mathematics, you enter the score across for all the subjects. Mathematics, you have English, computer, spelling skills, health habits. So you enter the scores across for each student. Like this now, this is for one particular class. So I'll explain better when I get to that of secondary. But let me just explain the difference between the primary, the nursery, primary, and that of secondary. So let me move to that of primary to show more details again. So like the same thing, I will just open that of primary now. So likewise for that of primary too, you have two sheets there. Okay, so you have two sheets also for that of primary. You have the result sheet where you do the printing of the result. Then you have the result data sheet where you enter the scores across. Likewise, similar to that of primary and nursery. But here, like I said earlier, you have for each subject, you have the column for first CE, second CE, and exam. This one is for English scores. You enter the scores, then you move to the next subject, which is mathematics. You have the column for first CE, second CE, exam, and total. That is for mathematics also. Then you have other subjects also. So you enter the scores across the row for each student. So this for a particular class. So to explain better the whole software in detail, let me move to that of the secondary. Though it's similar, but the secondary has more functionalities than this. So if you know how to use the secondary, that of primary is very simple to understand. So like for that of secondary, this is it. It's similar. So you have the result sheet and you have the result data sheet. So in this for secondary, I also included a column for passport, whereby you can be including student passport in the result sheet also. So like you can see, let me explain in detail here. Now you have column for passport, for admission number, for first name, last name, gender, and the class. So let me start with the first thing here. Like you can see, this is a column for class. So like I said, each Excel file is for one particular class. So like you can see, and this for just 1A. Let's assume I'm changing it to another class now. I'll just type here. Once I type for the first student, this is the first student in this class. That is serial number 1. So if I should change the class here, maybe JSS 1B. So every other student in this class, their own two will change to JSS 1B. Across this column, everything will now be written JSS 1B. So this is for JSS 1B now. If I want to do for JSS 1C or another class, or JSS 2A or JSS 2B, so what I'll just do is just to change, I'll copy the same Excel file, then change the name of the class here, and every other student here, everything will change to that class. So like here now, I'll start entering the names of the students. Like you can see, let's assume for this now, I've entered maybe the record for like how many students. Let me check one school that I've entered for like 10 students. Let's assume this is for one class. So if I want to continue entering, if this is a new class, now what I will just do, I can delete all these records. Though for admission number columns, I've made it in such a way that you can't tamper with it, because it's something that has to be unique. So some form masters may not take it that serious to make it a unique. So I've made it a unique, something that you can't tamper with. So the only thing you can change here, I'll just, maybe if this is a fresh class I'm starting, I'll rather maybe just select these ones, the record I've entered, and you just delete them. For instance, I'll just delete, go to discuss and delete them. But for now, let me just leave them so that I'll use that to illustrate. So let's assume for this class now I've added for about record for about 11 students. Maybe I've entered their record. So let me just illustrate by adding one more student. So like I said earlier, there are some columns. As I move on, you will see there are some columns that you cannot edit. I'll block them, so I allow you to access only those sets you're supposed to access. So let me start by inserting a record of one student. So let me start by inserting a picture, like the passport of that student. I'll just click on insert, then click on picture, then you browse the location of where you have that picture. Let me use a picture of, for instance, so let me use one of these. Let me use this. I'll just click on the picture. So what I'll need to do is to resize the picture to make sure that the picture will fit into that cell for that particular student. So let me resize the picture. I will resize it so that the picture will fit into that cell alone, so that the picture will not overlap. I resize it so that it will fit into the cell of the record of the new student I'm adding into that row. Just place it very well there. Insert. I think though this is the only difficult part, or maybe the resizing of the picture. Every other thing is very simple for you to enter. Just the entering of this course. So here now I'll enter this course, the other details. So here now, this is the 12th student I'm adding. Let me now add the student name. Let me say Abubakar, then Umar. Enter the first name and the last name, then the gender, name, then the class. Here, let's assume is in that class, because if I want to change the class here now, I'll change at the folder. I will not be changing for all the students, it's just once. So I will go to the English column now, enter this course, the English course for the student. Let's assume it's called 15. Though I validated it in such a way that it would have a maximum and minimum score for the CAs and the exam. So for this, the maximum is 20 for the CAs and the minimum is 0 for first and second CA. Then for the exam, the maximum is 60 and the minimum is 0. So if I should, let's assume for the second scenario, if I should enter anything above 20, it will tell me that I should try something that is acceptable, that is valid, that this is not a valid entry. So I will try again. Let me change it to a number between 0 and 20. Let me say 18. So it will accept that. Now I'll go to the exam column. So for the exam, if I should enter above 60, it will also complain. So I'll enter something that is acceptable. Let me say something below 60 or 60. So I'll take, maybe let's say it's score 55. So I'm done with entering the English score. I'll move to the next subject, that is mathematics. So let me just module that fast. 14, maybe 16, 35 in mathematics. So the next subject, chemistry, let me say 6, 17, 18, let me say 37. So let me enter for physics 13, 11, 37. Then biology, let me enter 10. Let's just assume scores 16. Then let me say 46. So I assume these are compulsory subjects. So that's I started with the compulsory subjects 13, 15, 39. Then economics, let's assume it's compulsory subject. Though for any school, they can just let me know which subject is not compulsory, and I'll edit it to suit their own need. So let me say 56 in economics. In geography also, let me say 20. You scored 15 in second year exam. 43. Then agri. You can see I entered the score more than 20 for second year. I need to enter a value below 20. Okay. So let me just enter up to make it very fast. Okay, I'm already there. Let me enter the exam for agri. Let me see you scored 36. So here now I'm under the optional subject now, IRS and CRS. So here the student may be offering just one. If he's offering the IRS, so what I will do, I'll enter the score for IRS. Then once I get to CRS, I will skip the column, or I'll rather put 0 because I validated it to accept 0. So he's not offering CRS, I'll enter 0. So for the student that is offering CRS, look at like the student above this now. That is Peter, the one above. He is offering CRS, so he's having scores for CRS. So for the IRS column, his own will be empty. I'll rather leave it empty or I'll put 0. So for this current student I'm working on, that is Abubakar Umar. So I will continue. Then I have outside like Nigeria language. I have like 3 Nigerian languages, so he is to pick one. Let's assume he's offering Hausa. So I'll enter this course for the one he's offering, 15, and the exam, let's say 46. So he's not offering Igbo, I'll rather leave it empty or I'll put 0. For Yoruba, he's not offering, I'll put it 0 or leave it empty. Then French and Arabic, let's assume he's offering 1. Maybe he's not offering French, he's offering Arabic. I'll enter this course for Arabic, let's say 15, 16, and maybe 43. So now I've entered the whole score. So here what you're seeing here is the overall total score he has obtained. So far I made it in such a way that though I can edit it to any school's need, the maximum subject I have here is 12 subjects. So this overall score he obtained in all the subjects, total score from all the subjects is 724. So that is divided by this overall score. That is the percentage. That is to get the percentage of the total score the student obtained and the grade. So based on that, he scored 60%, and that is the grade is B, and he's the second student in the class. Based on his own total score, he came second. That is the overall position in the class you're seeing here. This is the overall position in the class. So the next thing is the psychomotor grading. Here you have the grading between 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 also, where you grade the student based on handwriting. You have handwriting, verbal fluency, and games. So here I will grade the student based on this marks you are seeing, either 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. So let's assume in handwriting it has 3, verbal fluency 4. So I'll enter this course. Maybe here 1. Let me just enter any random number. So the same thing under affective domain, punctuality, neatness, and politeness. I will grade the student also based on the numbers 3. Let me say 5, 2, 4. So then here is the number of days school is open. That is like attendance now. So here if I should change for the first student, let's say the school is open for 130 days. If I change for the first student, then this 130 student will appear for all the students in this class. That is, the school was open for 130 days. So it's now left for me to enter like how many days the student was present. Let's say the student was present for like maybe 115 days, or let me say he was present for 115 days. So let me change it to here to 150, because like other schools I'm having 130 already. So let me change like the school open for 150 days. So for this student I'm working on currently, he was present for maybe let me say 125 days. So the next thing is the remarks, maybe the teacher's remark and the principal's remark. So what I will do now is, let me say Abubakar is brilliant. He's a brilliant student. Let me say he's a brilliant student. That is the teacher's remark. Then let's say the HM's or principal's remark. Let me say very hardworking. Keep it up. So here I'm done entering for this particular student. If I'm done now, I want to add the new student. I'll just follow the same procedure, enter another record for the next student here. Then I'll pick the next student again, enter. That's how I'll enter for all the students. So this, I design it in such a way that it will accommodate for, I know in a class, it will never be more than 100. So I design it in such a way that the maximum is 100. I can enter for about 100 records here. So depending on your population, anyone you enter it to accept it. So the maximum I design it is to accommodate up to 100 students. So once you are done entering the record of the student, then the next thing now is to move to the result sheet. Now where you start the printing of the result. So in that case here, once you just come here, all you need to do, I can edit this also to suit any other schools into their logo and everything. So here, once you have entered the whole student in the result sheet, here it will count the total number of students you have entered so far. So once you enter, it will tell you the total number of students in the class. So all you need to do here now is just to come to admission number here one by one. Now you just click on that drop down arrow. It will fetch the record of all the students from that sheet. So let me start with the first one. So once you click on the first student, any student you click on, it will fetch the record, both the C, the remark, and everything about that student. So what I will just do now is just to send my work to the printer, Control P, and I'll send the result to the printer. If I'm done, I will just come back, fetch the next student. Maybe I'll just click on that drop down again, I'll click select the next student, maybe 02, to fetch the record including the password, every detail about that student to fetch